Okay, we're live. This is James speaking. Excuse me, when is it? It's 1:02. Another live stream here. What we're going to be talking about today, of course, is starting, building, and growing your education business. Specifically, maybe a little bit of time on my workflow for when I'm creating online courses. So that's what I think we'll try and do. Again, if there's any questions or anything you want to know about as it relates to creating online courses, training sites, communities, campuses, all of that good stuff in around an education business, make sure to add those to the chat. And if there are any, I'll make sure to answer them, excuse me, as best I can. So if you haven't been on these before, I do them every Wednesday. These are live streams, ad hoc. I kind of pick a topic, but you can get off on any kind of tangent if things get going that way. So again, feel free to let me know what's going on. I'm going to adjust my color here a little bit. See if I can get myself a little bit whiter. There we go. That's one of the things when you're playing around with all of these live streams and things like that. You know, getting a microphone that works, make sure that that works properly. Lighting takes a little bit of time. And again, this is not perfect. This is self-taught, having some fun with it. If you do have suggestions on resources or videos, make sure to add them to the community at trainingsites.io, or you can go there directly with teachonline.io. It brings you directly into the community. It's free to join. And again, just a cool place to, all of these videos from YouTube are an archive, plus there's a whole bunch of free courses there as well. If you haven't joined up, please do that. And of course, if you can, like and subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful too. Now, I'm just going to look over from side to side on the other screen here. I've been trying to get, I use Ecamm on Mac for doing these live streams. And the one thing that I'm not good at yet is making sure that the live chat is embedded on one of the screens. I have a screen actually set up for this, but to get the live screen in, I'm having a little bit of trouble doing that at this point. So that's for another time. I ran out of time this morning to get that actually working. So if I do look over to the other side, it's just to see if there are any questions. And again, as I mentioned, I'll do my best to get in there and answer those as best I can. There we go. So, am I on my live stream right now? Let's go to make sure I'm in the right place. We'll open that one up, and yeah, we should be in the live streams there. Okay. Okay, top chat, live chat, anything that's there, let me know what's going on, and again, I'll answer them. Again, any of these sessions, what I do with these ones, I have a little bit of a workflow put together, is I do have a page of tutorials. And in those tutorials, all of these videos are being added or will be added shortly. And I think on this one, if you go to the top here in videos, you'll see that there's a library of them where we're putting all the ones that are on, all of the ones that are on YouTube in here, and plus any kind of groupings of ones that aren't really courses but are related in collections or series. So you can go in and search for these ones. A lot of the open classroom ones will be here, so these are ones you can go and watch after the fact. And the thing that's kind of hopefully on all of the ones that we get to see here is you'll see that there's a key summary and takeaways that are available for you, as well as either a transcription or some of the information and references that were included there. So that's it in the community at the top for the videos. Okay. So there we go. What's up today? If you want to do, again, any questions? Nope, nothing at this point. So I'll just keep this open so that you have it. I'm going to go through a little bit of the workflow that I have for creating online courses and or YouTube videos. And this is, I was just thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier today. Actually, yeah, it was this morning. There's a number of AI tools that I use on a regular basis. There's ChatGPT, Notebook LM, and the other one, of course, is Claude.ai. And I like Claude.ai because it is a little more friendlier in terms of the language that it outputs. It's kind of less technical, more conversational, which is appropriate or helpful when you're creating online courses. But it doesn't necessarily have the flexibility that a ChatGPT does. Now, I'll give you one example of things that are important for ChatGPT is that you can use external links and content in ChatGPT. And I just read this morning that the new version of Claude also allows for the ability to use external links as context and reference material within any of the chats or the prompts that you're using. So I think this is going to be a really, really big change again for Claude, and that whole idea of having a project in Claude and organizing or keeping the context and resources in a project to get better output, like course output. I think that's a real powerful thing, but now having that way to externally reference materials is cool. And the other one is, and I'll open this right now just because I did turn it on this morning, but let me just open this one up. This is one I just did a video on salsa lessons. I did it a couple minutes ago about salsa lessons and how that applies to not knowing how to dance to creating courses. But one of the things that if you look at the bottom, and let me just let's do a new chat. If I open up a new chat, you're going to see that there's a couple kind of things here. We have the ability to upload files, which is only 5 here, but we've also got the Google Docs link that's there now. And if I'm not mistaken on this one, at least I was told this morning, the part that I read, is that you can put a link in. So let's just find out. No, I don't have it yet, so it's going to be rolled out. So when this happens, I think that's going to be, I just tried to put a URL in. Sorry, let me go back to where we were. Let's go start a new chat. So here's the thing here. I was talking about Google Docs. This is new for me anyway, being able to put it in. I read this morning that you will be able to put a URL in directly so that you can do it in. But right now, Docs and chats and projects. So anything that you're doing in Google, all your reference materials are now available right within Claude, which is a great thing because, again, it provides reference material or context for the answers and responses that you get when you're creating the online courses. So again, any questions, put them in. I will go through today. If there are no questions, I'll just show you the flow that I have for creating online courses with tools like Claude. And if you do have questions about it, let me know. Now, here's the other thing when I'm playing around with all of these right now is this whole thing with courses and communities and training sites and all of this space. And if you watch any of the videos that I did here earlier or on YouTube earlier, I've been talking for the past year and a half or so about community and training sites. In fact, I registered training. I own trainingsites.io. I own membersite.io. There's a whole bunch of domains because I knew this space was coming. But the thing that's interesting that's happened in the last 2 weeks is that there are now 2 additional brand new tools available for WordPress that are building communities. And the one is the one that I have here, which is Fluent Community, which I've done some videos on. This is the one that we use to build out communities now that we're using simple communities. The other one, of course, was called Buddy Boss, which was a offshoot of Buddy Press. That was a WordPress one, but it's a little bit heavier, more complex, and requires a specific theme to work well. And then there's another one that I saw that I think is being announced or at least released today, which is from the people at SureCart, and another WordPress one. I think it's called Dash, which is going to be similar to Fluent in some respects. So now you've got a case where you've got 3 good WordPress plugins that are specifically for communities that either have or work with e-learning plugins like LearnDash or Lifter or Tutor LMS or any of the other ones that are available. So this whole thing with building out a community and courses is getting huge in the WordPress space. And I think over the next year, you're going to see another explosion of building communities and having community and education and learning, the real kind of big part of all of the businesses that are available, and being able to teach online, which is another domain that I own. Teachonline.io actually goes here to the membership site. So having said that, having a content flow or the ability to populate content into these communities or into these training sites requires a workflow that works for you, but more importantly, becomes as efficient as possible. And as the tools change, the workflow has to adjust. So if we had started, a week ago, or sorry, a month ago or 2 months ago, probably a better example would maybe, let's say 6 months ago, the only AI tool that was ChatGPT was kind of the only thing that was there for the workflow of creating content. Right now, I use multiple tools to create the content for the courses. And those tools have everything to do with organizing the syllabus or creating the outline, creating the actual content, creating the graphics for it, researching the content. So there's 4 tools that we use. So one I'm going to show you today is one that I'm using today, but it's going to change. And you have to get comfortable with the one that you're using to get the result or the responses that you want when you're creating content for your community and your training site, not just courses, but you have to have a workflow or a process to work through that, and understand it's an iterative process. And what that means, of course, is what worked today isn't necessarily the one that you're going to be using 10 days from now, because stuff is happening so quickly, or 15 days from now, or what have you. So things are they're blazing along, and you got to kind of do your best to keep up with all of this as things are moving forward. So any questions? Nothing coming up there. I don't see anything. We'll just do the live chat. Top chat, live chat, nothing there. Again, if you do have questions, ask behind. And of course, this will be on the videos page after the transcription is available. So I'm going to open up my trusty mind map. You'll see what I did working for the course creation process. I'll touch on it. We'll go through it. And if it's something that you want to learn more about, certainly let me know what's happening there. So let me just open up the map that I want. That's another map that I'm kind of working on. And these maps are what I live and die by, basically, for all of this stuff. So course creation steps. There we go. So I'll put this one up so that you can see it. And again, these ones are always available for you in the campus as they get fixed up and changed up. And we'll just go through kind of the pieces that I go through here. The other thing, just remember on these, which is kind of interesting, I think, for me anyway, is that all of these pieces or all of the maps always are part of the big map, which is that campus map or campus blueprint. And in that one, there's, kind of the research area, then there's the build area, and then there's the grow area. So I have kind of 3 pieces of the pie, but there may be slices in those slices. That map is where creating courses is just one piece of it. So, and as much as this is a map, it's part of the bigger map and part of that process. It's just one kind of piece of the pie. So here's kind of the workflow that I go through when I'm creating any content for a course, a mini course, a micro course, anything that has to do with teaching or educating or trying to share a process or something that we go through. So what I do is, first of all, is I do all the research, course topic and outcome, and I'll show you how we do that after, but I used perplexity.ai and Answer the Public to find out what people have challenges or questions that they're asking. I want to make sure that I have a good course topic and I have enough questions that I can answer, that I either know the answer for or can find the answer for, and be able to provide a specific outcome or transformation that I'm promising in the educational content that I've created. So that's kind of the first thing, do the research. From that, I create a topical course map. You may have heard this for search engine people, they talk about a topical authority map. I kind of change it around to do a topical course map. And the word course, again, big course, small course, mini course, doesn't really matter, but it's the actual questions and answers that get created there. And on this one, I use a 1, 10, 25 brainstorming. We'll go through that one in a little bit, but the big picture here is that you have that one key topic or outcome, which is related to the box in red here. So what's the one thing that I want? And then from there, I'm going to look at 10 categories or subtopics that are related to that one big key outcome and topic that I've identified. And then I want to create 25 of the biggest challenges or questions that each people have specifically to the category. So at the end of this, you're going to have kind of a hub, which is that key outcome. You're going to have 10 items around it, categories, and each of those categories is going to have 25 questions. So at the end of the day, you have 250 questions to do that. And that topical course map, that's where we use tools like ChatGPT, which is probably my favorite on this one, to basically do the brainstorming and flushing out all the work that's been done when you're researching the key topics and the outcome that you want. So you're looking at that topical map, you got a topical map, you got 250 questions in 10 categories. Now, just want to be upfront here. I use, 1, 10, 25. If you're doing something small, you may go, I don't need 10 categories, I only need 3, and each of those 3 has a couple of questions. I'm doing a mini course, I'm doing a micro course. That's fine too. If you go and you do it and you have that one key topic and you look at it and you do ChatGPT and you get some prompts, you put them together, and then all of a sudden you find out there's 35 categories, then you have to go and say, oh, wait a second, this maybe is not the outcome and or course that I need to be creating. This is a big program. How do I slice it or minimize it or bring it to a point where it's easy to consume for the people that you're helping? And if you haven't actually done this before, where you're creating the content for these courses, keeping it simple and easy to follow and understand is really important. That's why I did this salsa video this morning. About an hour ago, I did a video up, about a 20-minute video, just explaining how I went to my first salsa dancing class on Monday night, and I absolutely had a blast, but I am a horrific salsa dancer. And that experience of learning or starting to learn how to do salsa dancing reminded me how important it is to keep things simple. And that coming up with that map, that 1, 10, 25 thing, if it's a 1, 3, 5 one, that's fine. Just understand main topic or outcome, categories that are related to that particular outcome, and then questions that people have with those. So once you have that, what you're going to do is you're going to use or create a course syllabus or structure or outline of the course with the categories and the questions. And there's some prompts I can show you that, again, we have in the library there for doing the prompts. But it's like, okay, research, topical content or course map, and then we want to create a syllabus using ChatGPT as my personal one. And we want to use some prompts. And the prompts we're going to do, of course, is we're going to give it a prompt when we have the syllabus for each of the particular questions that are in a category that are in a topic. So you create some prompts that create content for each of those categories. And if you have 10 categories, you're going to have 10 lessons if you want. If you have 4 categories, you can have 4 lessons. But I kind of try and break it up so that the categories are lessons and the questions are answered right within the lessons. And you want to use ChatGPT and some of the other tools here to expand the course outline. So if you have the basic syllabus, you want to say, okay, category 1 or topic 1 of this big programmer course is all about making sure, expand it out. Say, well, what are the points? Why is it important? Do you have an analogy? What are the things that, problems that people run into, and how does this fit into everything? So you want to use some prompts to expand the outline for each of these ones there. You also want to create a sales page, and actually I should probably do this. That's probably a better idea. change the order around on that. The actual thing about creating the sales page content, the benefit that people get by learning this stuff, it allows you to create the content that supports the sales page and the promises you've made in the sales page. But you want to create a sales page outline. Then you want to look at how do I expand, or what do I need to put in to each of these particular lessons. You want to come up with titles that are interesting and relate to the transformation. And there's a whole bunch of different prompts for specific title types. You want to look at thumbnails. How am I going to create a thumbnail for the sales page or the lessons, or do I really need them? You also want to look at any course resources, workbooks, templates, anything like that. You can use ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other tools to actually create these ones. Now, I'm looking at this course structure and the outline syllabus, and I'm talking about using ChatGPT to create the content. I'm talking about using the structure. Notice the word there, structure and syllabus. You can create content here, but I'm not recommending that you use the content here. I'm recommending that you use and or alter as a baseline or as a start the structure and the syllabus and an explanation of the outcomes that you want. Your job, if you're teaching online, is to use your experience, your analogies, your personal stories, and weave them into the content that you maybe are generating as you fine-tune it to make sure that it's yours. I'm not talking about cut and paste to put it into a course. I don't think that's a course. That's creatively plagiarizing something without any of your input. But I'm talking about these are the sections you're going to need. So you're going to have to come up with something or use tools like the ones we talked about to actually create these particular pieces of content. So that big picture is for the entire course. What you want to do is you want to go and say, okay, great, I have it for the course. Can I do it for an individual lesson? And here's the thing that I do for lessons. I take a look at, I got my topical course map or content map here, and I want to take that first category, and on that first category, I'm going to create the lesson content, which takes these particular content is answering the 5 questions that's with that particular category. So this lesson content is just answering these questions. So there's some prompts that you can do to actually create them, lesson prompts. And again, I've included those ones, and if we have time, maybe what I'll do is talk about those a little bit. But that content that gets created and cleaned up and personalized by you and filtered by you and added to or enhanced by you, that is coming from those challenges and questions that you did in the topical content map to support these other areas. And you can use titles or prompts for creating those titles, and also for the featured images that you have. And again, featured images can be in a tool like Canva as an example. They have AI assistants or there's other tools that you want. I generally don't use AI for the featured images or tools for the individual lessons. I just use a standard Canva template that I have for the course and alter the text based on the titles that I got from the prompt and that I'm happy with. You can also use for each of the individual lessons, you can have it generate a video script for you so that you actually have a script for you reading off the teleprompter, if that's the way you need to do it, but having ChatGPT or the tools to put that in. Again, I don't technically use a teleprompter with a video script. All I have in front of me is, I don't have an example here. Actually, let me just show you one. Hopefully I'll be able to show you one. I'll show you one that I did this morning. I think I might have turned it off. But you might be able to see this. This is the one that I put together for the one this morning. And those are the talking points. So all I do personally is I put the talking points up on the teleprompter so I can follow the structure. And that is something that was generated by ChatGPT, my bullet points, and I follow that along in the lesson so that it's coming from me, not me reading over a video script, but I make sure that I follow the actual lesson that's there. And again, I just want to make sure I'm going to work really hard on making sure or finding out how to get the chat to be built in directly into it. So I'm just seeing if there's any live chat or any chat that's there. It doesn't look like there is. I'm looking on the side, and hopefully that'll happen. Okay, doing my best. Again, any questions, put them in. So video scripts are there. The other one that I absolutely love is called napkin.ai. I have a number of videos on that one, which is, again, a tool that allows you to take the actual transcript of your lesson and create specific visual graphics for the actual content that is in or from the transcript. So if you record something, you've created a video, maybe a video, talking head video, a slide with the talking points that you've created that was generated with the video script, you can use Napkin to create some stunning videos, and that's a tool that's free. I'll try and put the link together at the bottom for those ones. And if anyone's watching this in the short term, let me just open this one up so that we have it. Just open this one up. This one's napkin.ai, and at the time I filmed it was free. I'm pretty sure that, is it free? I'm not sure. But you can get an idea here on the page. This one is you just basically cut and paste or paste your transcription in, and what happens is this will actually create graphics that turn all of these different styles and processors and stuff. You get a graphic at. So instead of having just a straight transcription of your content, you can immediately put specific images that are in context to the information that you've actually created or put in. So napkin.ai is a really cool tool, one that I use all of the time. Downloads. With courses now, I think with them having to be far more simple, what I'm trying to do personally is have things like checklists, templates, things that people can download as resources about the things that you've been talking about, making those available to people. Now, one of the things that I've done personally, and what I've tried to do and worked on, is I'm not giving downloads available. I am probably giving course resources more so. And I'll give you the big reason why. If, for example, I gave you, and I've done this before, in some of the other videos, you'll see I have a link that says something along the lines of, hey, click here to download a Google Doc or a PDF download this PDF that has a list of prompts or, guidelines for doing something. It's a PDF. The problem that I have with that specifically when it comes to this whole space is by the time I create that PDF, and you download it, it's probably out of date, unfortunately. So there's a couple ways around that I've been doing it. And the first thing that I've been kind of really working on as best I can is when we're doing any of the, let me just see if I'm just going to see if I have one that's open here. Two things that I'm doing. In my download section here, for people who are logged in, they have, for example, I have, where's my, I think I have one for course creation prompts. So here's one here, 20 online course creation prompts with simple examples. So if I put this in a reference library and I include a link to this, people have the same content as the PDF. But if I don't and upload this tomorrow, people have the current version of it. If I put it in a downloadable PDF, it ends up that it's like, hey, I'm stuck. I got the one like that. Is it the current one? And more important, a lot of people don't use it. So when you're creating a community or training site, there's some huge benefits in making sure not only that you get people to stay within the community if you can, but the information's up to date and it's easy for you to basically add to it. The other thing that we've been trying to do, and I'll put this one here if I can come up with the actual, I'm just gonna put a link because it's the other thing that, where is it? There it is. One of the things I've been trying to do on the maps or reference material is I'm trying to use either a Google document or something that has a listing of documents that is a resource for people. So if you go to trainingsites.io, the course here, for example, the one for the main course, go back to the home page here. Actually, this course here, which is one that you get as a member, it's free. But the course that's the campus map course, it has all of these lessons. One of the things that's with it is these resource documents that have each of the parts of the map and this particular course. So what I try and do is put it here so that if it's updated and I update it and I add something, someone has access to it as they get updated and not just something that's on their particular site. So downloads, that's where I put it in. The lesson quizzes and tasks, again, optional stuff that's in a real course. It's not just AI generated content, it's you, but also these additional resources that pull stuff out and go and actually support these different tasks that are in that topical content map. So this process is the workflow that I use when I'm creating courses. And the best part is when you look at this little arrow that's here, what you do is you repeat for each lesson and or topic. And all it does is you pick one of the ones that's categories. And again, if you have categories that are a certain number of categories, I generally use that as a particular lesson, and the content answers the important questions or challenges that are required for people or that fit in with the categories and the outcome. And all I do is I do this for each step, is for each individual lesson, go through these pieces, video scripts, napkin stuff, and then I just repeat it over. And if I got 10 categories, I got 10 lessons. If I have 3 categories, I have 3 lessons. So as always, if there are any questions, please let me know and we'll go from there. That's the workflow that I use. And what's happening on the other side, of course, is the prompts that get used for that particular structure. And again, I have a whole bunch of different prompts that I use, and those are, some of them are in the resources, some of them are listed in some of the other videos. And I think what I'll do is I'll probably put a course together, because this is a question that I get asked all the time. So this whole kind of piece of the community and the training site and the workflow, I think having this as something that you can hang your hat on, that you're comfortable with, it's something that you know you have in your back pocket. You can churn stuff out quickly when you've done the research and you know that there's an outcome that's needed for the people in your community. And for what I do purposefully is anytime that I look at this, I go from that campus map that I have. And I don't know what your campus map is. You know, my campus map is about starting, building, and growing an education business. If you're teaching people how to do salsa dancing, you have a process that you teach and how you teach it. If you're doing woodworking, if you're doing how to be a great public speaker, if you're doing how to use an Excel spreadsheet, if you're using how to write a compelling resume when you're an executive, any of those processes that you have, you want to make sure that anytime you run through this course creation workflow, you have it so you can repeat it for any of the pieces of content that you're creating. And the cool thing is, of course, I have this as AI-powered course creation workflow. Course creation can be anything that you want there. Is it a YouTube video? Is it a website that you're doing? Any of these pieces can be easily followed, or these steps can be followed, these kind of 4 steps. Research, creating that content map, the actual AI tool to create the syllabus or the outline and the steps that are required, and then actually using AI tools to create the content for it, and then repeating the cycle. And the only important part that I'd really talk about here is that yes, you absolutely have to make this stuff your own. Either that, or you're going to be creating slop content, AI generated slop, trying to pass it off as courses that you're going to have to give away. They're going to be impossible to sell, and you won't be able to build a training site and or a community. So I will make this workflow available. I'm actually going to turn it into a course, and we'll go through that, and I'll make sure that I have the current prompts that I use with all of these. So how long have I been going for here? Let's go and take a look. How many times have I been, how much have I been chatting here as we get going? 35 minutes, holy mackerel. I got 2 people watching, all of 2 people. Doesn't look like there's any chats. I'm gonna refresh my screen here just to make sure that I didn't muck something up. No, doesn't look like there's any questions, which is cool. I'm okay with that. And we'll go from there. So if there are any questions, please let me know. Put them in the comments here below, and I will try and answer them. If not, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, and go to directly teachonline.io or trainingsites.io, and you will be able to become part of my membership site, my campus at trainingsites.io. So thank you very much. Take care. Expect the best. We'll be back next week on Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning when I do another video tutorial. And if you have some tutorials that you want, I'm going to actually, before I go, I'm going to show you one other thing that we did, and I covered it in another video. I think it was Friday. But one of the things that we did do, if you do have suggestions or topics that you wanted to cover, what I did do is I did do a page called trainingsites.io/suggestions. And if you have a particular topic or an idea for a course or stuff you wanted copied or worked on, just put your idea in, submit an idea. Let me know what it is, and then we'll take a look at it, see how many people ask for it, and make sure that it's covered, and we'll let you know if we're thinking about it, we're ready to do it, it's done, and everything that's going on there. So suggestions, feedback from people about the content that you have and the research that you're doing, the challenges that you're having people find. So let's bring that in for a landing. Again, James Maduke speaking, trainingsites.io. Take care, expect the best. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some more great training, how to start, build, and grow your education business. Take care, expect the best.